I saw a post on Facebook the other day from a friend of mine, and it said, "Roaring 20s, be careful what you ask for next time." And at first I laughed a little bit. I mean, it was definitely clever, but then I realized how painfully true it actually was. I remember towards the end of last year, everyone was posting about how great 2020 was going to be, but we all know that it hasn't turned out that way at all. In fact, I was looking at some news articles from this year, and it's really been rough from the get-go. It started with bushfires in Australia, then moved on to natural disasters around the world, then to impeachment and trust issues with the president, on to coronavirus and health concerns and mass quarantines. I mean, thousands of people losing their lives to the disease, and even more people losing their livelihood from government orders. Schools have been closed. The economy stumbles as the stock market takes its worst fall since the 80s. And as if that wasn't enough already, last week, the tragic and unfortunate murder of George Floyd, right here in Minneapolis, leading to protests and riots and violence across the country, resulting in even more death and more lost businesses and people losing their homes and struggles only increasing exponentially. I mean, we're only 6 months in and it's already been the roaring 20s so far. And here's what I think we're all searching for, especially right now, is some security. What 2020 has shown us so far is that nothing is really secure. We live in a volatile world where things can change and be taken from us in an instant. We're filled with worry and anxiety and fear. We've lost things. We've lost ground. We've lost relationships. We've lost control, and we're just craving some security. And here's what I mean by that. Some sense that everything is going to be okay. Some indication that things are going to get better or return to normal, or at the very least just level out. I mean, we could label it a bunch of different ways. Is it peace or confidence, having less worry or anxiety? Maybe just a sense of calm or certainty that things will work out, that we're not going to lose anything else. That's what I mean by security. And this year has shown each of us just how much we crave it. This year's been rough, and we all want to see some light, even a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. But this is not new. We're not looking for security just because of the curveballs 2020 has thrown at us. We've been searching for years. We thought it would come through a relationship, but it didn't. We've searched for security by pursuing a career or climbing the corporate ladder or starting a business, only to find out security wasn't there either. Many of us, myself included, have tried searching for security through the money route, through having more money in an account or using our money to buy more things, but that last thing you bought didn't give you security, and that last raise you got didn't give you security, at least not something that lasted anyways. Even our health, right? Probably the bottom rung on the ladder for so many of us, right? You've told yourself for years, I don't need anything else as long as I'm healthy. But if you've lived long enough, you know that even that is fleeting. And here's what I'm guessing we've all discovered, and maybe we've never noticed it or never been able to put our finger on it, but here's the truth of the matter. We've never found security in anything in this world. At least not really. Not real, lasting security. Because there's nothing that we can find or attain or do or achieve or save for, build to, prevent from happening. Nothing in this life that can cure the search we're on, the search for security, that sense that everything is actually going to be all right, that something can't be lost or taken from us. And that's why what God offers us through Jesus Christ is so incredibly compelling. Because it's only through him that we are offered something that is truly secure. Salvation. The absolute promise of eternal salvation when we put our trust in what Jesus accomplished on the cross. God has promised us and guaranteed it that we will be saved when we put our faith in Jesus. It can't be taken away from us. There's nothing in life that comes with that sense of security. There's nothing we've tried that offers that kind of assurance. And even more, there's nothing in any other religious system with that kind of security. I mean, we don't have time to get into the specifics, But every other religion is basically a points-based system where hopefully, and that's the key word, hopefully, you've done enough good to outweigh the bad for some sort of heaven or nirvana or reincarnation or whatever. But hopefully isn't security. Hopefully isn't a promise or a surety. It's only through Jesus Christ that you and I can find the one source of security that will never fail. Salvation, heaven, glory forever, peace overwhelming, a joy that's unending, a relationship with God right now and also forever. Real security comes with having proper perspective of the only thing that matters 10,000 years from now and then 10,000 years after that. I mean, Jesus hit this issue head on with his followers on the night he was arrested. He's just spent the evening pouring into his closest friends, and as the night wears on, he starts to take a more serious tone. He warns them of troubles and persecution that's going to come. He warns them about being run out of towns, losing everything they owned. He tells them flat out, the world is going to hate you. Everything they'd counted on in the past, everything they might have looked to for security, that was all going to change. He told them that they would face a lot of troubles in this world, that this life wasn't going to be a cakewalk, but he told them to take heart, to not be overwhelmed, to find security in him. Why? Because he was going to overcome the world. He told his followers that real security wasn't found in this life. And almost 2,000 years later, we all know that. Or at least we've subconsciously experienced that. But Jesus promised it. What we can't get in this life would be found in the next, in eternity for those who would put their trust in him. And about 20 years later, a man named Paul expounds on the words of Jesus. He's writing a letter to a group of people he's never met, but wants to help them understand the position they have because of their faith in Jesus. And it's found in Romans chapter 5, and I want us to look at it together. And he starts off with this. Therefore, since we have been made right in God's sight by faith, we have peace with God because of what Jesus Christ, our Lord, has done for us. Because of our faith, Christ has brought us into this place of undeserved privilege where we now stand. And we confidently and joyfully look forward to sharing God's glory. In the previous 4 chapters of this letter, Paul makes the case that salvation comes only through faith. It's not about behaviors. It's not about good outweighing bad. It's not about trying hard enough or being sincere enough. It's faith. It's trust. And that the result of our faith is being made right with God. That's security. We have peace with God. That's security. Not wishy-washy, not maybe, not hopefully, absolutely secure. And not just right now, but looking forward to ultimate security in heaven one day. In fact, he writes more about this very thing. He goes on to say, we can rejoice too. When we run into problems and trials, like who does that? Why should we rejoice when we face trouble like we have in 2020 so far? Why? For we know that they help us develop endurance. And endurance develops strength of character. And character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And this hope, this security, will not lead to disappointment. What God offers us through Jesus Christ, it's not like the things of this world. It's not like those things that we've pursued that ultimately lead to disappointment. It's more stable than that. It's more solid than that. It's a better foundation for us than anything else we've ever tried or experienced. Salvation through Jesus Christ is the only place to truly find the security or the peace of mind or contentment or freedom or whatever you want to call it, to find that inner security we've all been searching for. And like Paul said, it's available to us now. We have peace with God now and also in the future. Our confident hope of salvation, that God is faithful that God's love is greater than anything, that he is patient and compassionate with us, that his presence brings a peace that is beyond understanding. When we put our faith in Jesus, we're able to have a relationship with God right now that cannot be taken from us. It's secure. It's been purchased, paid in full through the death and resurrection. God is with us and God is for us. But it's not only right now. It's also for the future, that we have a perfect eternity to look forward to. With no more pain, no more loss, no more death, no more sickness, no more disease, no more injustice, no more hatred. An eternity in the presence of God where everything will be made perfect and where we'll live in joy and love and harmony with one another. That's secure. It's a promise from God, bought with the blood of Jesus. And here's what I want you to know. Here's what I'm trying to convey to you in the few minutes of this video. And I hope that you can understand this, maybe for the first time or even just as a reminder, that our eternal salvation through Jesus Christ gives us the security and the strength we need to make it through whatever life throws at us. That our peace, our joy, our ability to endure, our ability to process and move on, that our security is found in our salvation. So I'm going to say it again. Our security is found in our salvation. Listen, let me put it this way. We all want our lives to go back to normal and for this coronavirus thing to go away. For businesses to open up, for stay at home and masks and all that to be over and done with. We've gone through enough. But even if it doesn't, even if life never looks the same again, we can be secure going forward because of our salvation. Because we have a relationship with God now and heaven to look forward to. If you lost your job or your business, I can't imagine the amount of stress that's added to your life. Not only financial stress, but relational stress with the ones you love and emotional stress inside your own head. And listen, I know that if things were the way they were, it would be easy to feel better, to feel secure again. But we've seen how shaky that ground can actually be. We've seen how things can be lost so quickly. And that's why Jesus is so great. Because he offers us a better security. Even if the job doesn't come back, even if the business isn't rebuilt. In fact, according to Paul, maybe it's even better for us. Because then we can learn where to really find security in our salvation, rather than always being on the search and misplacing our trust in something else. And probably the most pressing issue for most of us, I know right now our country is experiencing unrest, most recently because of race and law enforcement relations. And that's a complicated subject for another time. But like many of you, my heart has been heavy for the past 2 weeks. Heavy watching the video of George Floyd. Heavy watching protests. Heavy watching the riots and violence take place in almost every single state. I mean, there have been times where I've just been at a loss for words. I don't know how to respond to what I see happening, and we all want security. We want there to be security in our police system. We want justice in our judicial system. We want peace in our relationships with one another and with people from different backgrounds and races. I mean, this unrest and escalated climate is horrible, and we're all paying the price because of it. We want there to be a sense of calm and safety and security. But here's the thing. Even if that never comes, and I hope and pray it does, but even if it doesn't, you and I can still live out the rest of our days being totally and completely secure. Not in the world or that things are how we want them to be, but secure because of our relationship with God and our eternal salvation purchased by Jesus Christ. And listen, here's what it comes down to. Are you trying to search for security in something of this world? Or are you willing to look beyond this life? Because when it comes down to it, this life is short. The author of Hebrews sums it up so simply. He says that this world is not our permanent home. And thank God, because this world can be painful. but he says that we are looking forward to a home yet to come. Are you looking forward to that? Are you placing your security in something temporary that can be taken away? Or are you ready for something better? Jesus offers us a guaranteed, promised eternal salvation when we put our faith in him. And I think that's where we can finally stop the search.